Compass is disrupting what the three remaining major players, Redfin, Trulia, and Zillow, are doing.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Today we're going to rank the best listing websites. Before we get started, I want to talk about how we're ranking these. So there's a few things we want to keep in mind. Not all of these listing sites are built the same, and they also don't have the same target audience. So let's talk about how I determined these rankings. The criteria are: 1, are they user-friendly? B, do they have a wide breadth? Can they talk to buyers, sellers? Do they have a great algorithm? Do they have good data? Third would be, how confidently can a buyer or seller interact with them and get their desired outcome, right? Are they trying to buy a property? Are they trying to list a property? Are they trying to advertise a property? How easy is it for you to accomplish what you're trying to do? Let's dive right in. So coming in at number 10 is a website you may not have heard of. It's going to be Movato.com. Now, Movato is interesting. Much like traditional listing sites, they're going to take MLS listings. That's like the big multiple listing service that we agents need to put our listings on. The way I kind of liken it to is Airbnb. Instead of, hey, I'm looking for 3 beds, 2 baths, and this many square feet, their shtick is essentially, I want a place with a pool. I want a place with views, etc. So they're kind of speaking to like the layman, like very entry-level type buyer or seller, and taking categories and trying to go that way. It's not robust. They don't lean on analytics. Ultimately, like many listing sites, you'll hear me say this a lot, they're trying to take your information and sell it to real estate agents like me as a lead. Next, we have I'm gonna give them a D ranking as well, is Homes.com. Homes.com is leaning on the fact that they were lucky enough at some point to buy Homes.com, like the website name. There are some people that are silly enough to literally type Homes.com into their web browser, and guess what? This is where they land. And they aren't trying to do anything. They are there trying to capitalize on a great name. They're gonna sell your information to, again, a real estate agent like me, who's gonna pay for your lead, and then it's up to me to try and turn you into my client. C rating is for sale by owner. I don't want people to sell property on their own. I want them to use me so I can make a commission, right? But for sale by owner accomplishes 2 things. 1, if a seller really doesn't want to work with a real estate agent, or they're in a market where it may not be necessary to incur a huge expense to list your property, you can put your home on for sale by owner. There are a lot of people who believe they're going to either get a deal when they buy it or they're saving money when they sell it. Now, if that's your belief, this is the only show in town for you to sell your property without agents. The reason it's only getting a C rating is the following. If I'm a seller and I put it up on there, you're going to get a ton of investors trying to get a crazy deal out of you, so they're gonna waste your time. And if I'm a buyer and I'm trying to purchase a home from a seller who has their home on forsalebywowner.com, Craigslist to actually purchase and sell real estate is the wild, wild west. Nobody's going to be surprised. It's ripe with scams. It's ripe with people trying to capitalize on, frankly, the stupidity of one another. Can you sell a home there? Yes. Why you would want to do that? I'm not 100% sure. Why you would want to buy a property, off of Craigslist and, really have no verification on who it is you're meeting and where, I don't know. However, if you are an investor, especially, you're able to leverage some inexperienced people and get good deals. We've all been on Craigslist. It's not the most user-friendly, but it's good, boring information. And I know people who have gotten pretty good deals on Craigslist. Why is Facebook in the B tier? The main reason is everybody knows what Facebook is. Even like the big monsters in this arena, like Zillow, Redfin, etc. You can say Zillow and Redfin to a typical person, and they may not know what you're talking about. Every single person has a Facebook, or at the very least knows what Facebook is. So you, just by virtue of having the largest possible audience, that's enough to make you a player. Realtor.com really has nothing to do with the National Association of Realtors. They purchased the trademark, the Realtor logo, and it's a complete separate third party that is a listing website. The reason they're only in the B tier is primarily because of the user interface, A. So I find it super clunky to actually search on it if I'm a buyer. In Illinois, I'll also make the argument that it doesn't have really good adoption from the typical person. And because they don't have enough name recognition, they don't have the budgets of some of these bigger players we're about to talk about. So they're not able to have the diverse product offerings to buyers, sellers, and to agents. So Realtor.com, their leads are so low quality and confusing, and they're also being sold to 3 people at one time. So it's an awful experience for the agent because they're competing with people right off the bat. And it's a horrible experience for the buyer because they have 3 agents who are hungry for their business attacking them right when they input their information. We have 4 of the major players left, and full disclosure, I work for Compass. I'm a real estate agent at Compass. I'm actually gonna put them in the A tier. There's some bias there, I fully recognize that, but let me explain why. Compass is disrupting like what the 3 remaining major players, Redfin, Trulia, and Zillow, are doing by putting we real estate agents at like the center of the whole experience and making it really easy for sellers to communicate with their agent and buyers to communicate with their agent and kind of make the process more seamless. They've also made a beautiful search experience. I don't believe that the search experience is quite as robust as Zillow, Trulia, and Redfin. We definitely don't have that kind of adoption yet, but I don't think anyone is trying quite as hard to make the consumer and agent experience quite as seamless and beautiful as what Compass is doing. And I think there's something to be said for just general sex appeal. Like, they're the new kid on the block. They have the newest and most interesting technology. They're leveraging AI, and their data and analytics are top notch. I am actually going to put Trulia right next to them. Now, if you don't know this, Trulia and Zillow are owned by the same company. If you are clicking around on Zillow, you might as well be clicking around on Trulia. It's kind of like Trader Joe's and Aldi, right? They're owned by the same company, and they're packaging the same exact product a little bit differently so that they can capture multiple income levels and multiple streams of revenue. People who think they're getting a valuable product or an expensive product, and people who are bargain shoppers. That's not like Zillow and Trulia, bargain versus value shoppers or anything like that, but they just have 2 brands. Trulia is slightly different than Zillow from their user friendliness, but they have so much money behind them. They have so much data. They have so much research. Zillow and Trulia and Redfin here, they have economists on staff that are there to understand market trends. They're there to help position listings, help educate buyers. They're setting market tone for the entire country. I think you have to put Redfin in the A tier. We work with a ton of buyers, we work with a ton of sellers, and everyone quotes Redfin listings. They quote what Redfin's estimates are of their property, and just by virtue of them having an incredible amount of adoption across the country, they have all of the data. Their algorithm is so strong that we agents celebrate when we get this little tag, which is such a strong algorithmic like back-end tool that they have, where if I put up a listing on 123 Main Street and it's getting so many clicks that it gets the hot home tag, almost without fail, I know as a real estate agent, and I can tell my seller, hey, this is going really remarkably well, and we expect it to sell way more quickly. That's an invaluable tool that I can share with the seller to make them feel more at ease. The problem here is that Redfin is a real estate brokerage, and they employ their people. So their agents and their staff are all paid on salary. If they help you buy a house or they don't, they still get paid. If they help you sell your home or they don't, they still get paid. When you're dealing with stuff in the $500 million range, I think interests need to be aligned. So Redfin is, it's kind of the classic bait and switch, where they're putting out all of these listings and they're trying to suck you in to a showing, and then they're pairing you with, in my opinion, the least attractive agent on the market. And it also pains me to do this, and that's put Zillow in the S tier. They're the monster in this entire market, in the listing market. We've already talked about it. Zillow and Trulia are the exact same thing, but Zillow has the best experience for buyers and sellers when they're navigating the market. They have the highest quality bottom of funnel leads for we real estate agents. They have the best data, they have the best resources. And honestly, I might get fired for saying this, but when I'm looking for property in another state, right, and I don't have access to the MLS over there, I start on Zillow myself because I find it really easy with their map function and how the search actually is driven to find exactly what I'm looking for. So that's our rankings. We ranked the 10 that we thought were most used or most relevant listing sites. I think it's interesting to note that we were deciding what to put on this list, and we eliminated any traditional brokerage's listing site. Like, people go to coldwellbanker.com to search for listings. They go to Remax's website or Century 21's website to search for listings. It's not the right place to start. I would start at any of these other places first. I would have extreme caution, especially in the B tier, because motivations are not aligned. You want a place where seller and buyer and agents are all kind of working together, and that's kind of this A and S tier. So leave a comment, let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I miscategorized some. Let me know if I'm full of shit. Don't forget to hit subscribe. We're gonna be trying to do some more of these. Thanks.